Welcome back, everyone. Thank you so much for joining my podcast. I'm Janine. This is Quest for You. Stop by my website if you are curious about my venture, my mission, my dream, and send me a note if you have questions, if you're unclear, and maybe even want to share something with me and have some feedback for me of what I could do better. I'd love to hear from you. Today it is episode 197, and I'm finding myself using the word ownership more frequently. So I wanted to explore it further. Other than being a really cool sounding word that just sounds powerful and determined when you speak it out loud, what is it? And what does it mean to take ownership? Initially, I thought ownership is just like responsibility. But after giving this some more thought, I think it's more than that. Imagine you own a house versus just being assigned to take responsibility for one. Maybe while you rent. Maybe while the owners are away. I can speak to both. I frequently stay at friends' houses while they are traveling, and I have owned a home before as well. And I am a very responsible person. I'm not trashing a place just because I don't own it. But I think I go much more above and beyond for something I own. I have lots of responsibilities in my life. I take care of them with dedication and commitment. But when I take ownership, I go further. I hold myself accountable. There's something remarkable in the action of taking ownership, and that is control. Not the kind of control we often talk about on other episodes. The one that tries to manipulate people and events to obtain a selfish end result. Rather, it is self-control. When you hold yourself accountable, you are self-controlling your actions and behaviors. You are directing them purposefully into the direction of your target. Taking ownership is taking matters into your hand with the goal to resolve a problem or to advance and show progress. And you're doing it not because there's an extrinsic reward, such as recognition or money, but you're fulfilling an intrinsic need or belief that is in line with your identity. Instead of leaving the problem to someone else, you handle it because you care, or you want to see it done. Maybe it's a piece of trash in your walkway. You pick it up because you care that the environment looks clean. You could easily say, "This is not my building or street, and as soon as I walk past, I'll forget about it. Nobody will expect me to pick this up. I didn't put it there." Or you can simply pick it up. Instead of waiting for problems to resolve themselves, you take initiative to fix them. It's looking at your situation and saying to yourself, "This is not how I want my life to look. I need to make the following changes in order to improve my situation." And then you go for it. You take active steps that help improve your circumstances. Because taking ownership is not sitting around and waiting for your partner to do things differently, for your friend to pick up the phone, for your boss to speak up when she needs something. It's picking up the pieces and going for it. Even if you don't have all the details, or you're scared, or you're unsure what the other person might say. You're not forcing anything, but you decide to stand up and resolve a problem that may not only affect you, but others around you. Instead of hoping and wishing for things to happen, you make them happen. Wishing you made more money is nice, but it won't bring you more money. Instead, you own the fact that you can contribute at a higher level and be rewarded for your skills, and then you go out and find a job that matches your new mindset. Acknowledging that you could be in better shape is step one. But taking ownership of it means you hire a personal trainer and maybe a dietitian to help you towards actually getting in the best shape you could be. Hoping you feel better tomorrow, that someone does something you like, that things play out, is good. But going out and making them happen is what it means when you take ownership. Instead of waiting to see how things unfold, you are proactive and you nip them in the bud right away. The issue between you and your friend, your spouse, your boss, you don't wait around for too long for it to fester or to escalate, for people to get hurt more and more. You address it. you recognize that the other person may not have the courage, strength, or the right words to say something, but you do, and you try. Taking ownership is summoning up the courage and demonstrating that you are the mature person that you want to be. It also means showing some vulnerability with the risk of falling, getting hurt, and having to start over. But in the process, you learn and become better. Instead of blaming others for their careless behaviors, you look within yourself on what you can do better. Sometimes life is against us. Out of nowhere, we find ourselves in bad situations, with problems we didn't cause and with consequences we didn't foresee. It's easy to blame others, God, or the universe. That may temporarily feel good, knowing you can offload your frustration somewhere, but it doesn't help you to move forward. You're giving up power to the same forces that already weakened you. Take ownership so you can gain that power back and enforce self-control. Nothing much you can do about the things that slipped out of your hand, but controlling the pieces you pick back up is on you. Whether that's your mood, your health, or the state of your relationships. There are always pieces left to pick back up and move forward with. That is taking ownership. Not leaving the responsibility to someone else, but holding yourself accountable. Rein in what you can and do your best to take any steps you can to gain control. Maybe that means to take steps to minimize the likelihood of something happening again. Maybe you find something that gives you strength so you can withstand the difficult times. Even if the situation seems hopeless, you can still take ownership. You always have a choice. You can blame or you can act. Pointing the finger turns you into a bystander in your own life. Forfeiting your role in the situation resigns you to passivity. You will watch others act and control your moods, emotions, and thoughts. The path of ownership does the opposite. It gives you control. It forces you to acknowledge your influence when things go wrong. No matter how much we try to offload the responsibility onto others, we can almost always find some doing of our own that contributed to the situation. And that is where taking ownership starts. As long as you're alive, you can take ownership of your life. If your body is weak or broken or out of shape, take ownership and do the best you can to get it to better, maybe best ever. If your relationships are struggling, take ownership and tackle them one at a time. Confront the issues, figure out if they are repairable, and do your best to do so. Or close out the relationship and move on. Taking ownership is not easy. It means you have to confront your weaknesses, your shortcomings, and your flaws head on, admitting you screwed up and try to repair it. Taking ownership is uncomfortable. That's why so few people do it. Holding yourself accountable frees you of the need to have others' approval. It removes you from the waiting room where you only waste time, wondering why nobody does anything. Gaining self-control gives you control over your life. It keeps you stable when everything around you is shaking. It provides you with a compass when you feel like you're lost. Ownership puts you in charge of your life, and that's exactly where I want to be. Consider the following quote as you start your day today. It's by Toni Morrison. Freeing yourself was one thing. Claiming ownership of that freed self was another. Think about it. There are 2 steps in there. As you go throughout your day today, look and see where you can take ownership. Maybe you are the one picking up that piece of paper in your walkway today. It starts with little things. It always does. Much love, my friends, and can't wait to talk to you soon.